So we're here to do the learning target poem for the Crusades, but we're also playing Where in the Building is Mr. Marshall again, so make your guess at the end of your assignment. The Crusades. Soon Pope Urban, he's the second, had something to say. The Holy Land, he said, you know it's far away, but the Muslims, they control it, and I don't like it one bit. We have to go do something or I'm gonna throw a fit. It's not right that the land where Jesus once walked is controlled by the people who decided to lock the gates to Jerusalem, the city we hold holy. We should go take it back in a war, we'll call it holy. It's a crusade to put the city back in Christian hands. We need a Christian leader to run the Holy Land. The Pope convinced the knights and even some kings that if they won the war, they'd be forgiven of their sins. It worked really well. Okay, kind of well, it didn't. They won the first time, but they didn't get the hint. You can't just win and then everyone goes back. Someone has to stay to make sure there's no attack, but they didn't do it that way. Almost everyone left, so they had to try again and again with no rest. It didn't work well. They always lost. Saladin made a deal with Richard for a cost. The Christians could visit if they paid a special tax, and they left their weapons home like the sword and the axe. The Crusades were a big failure for taking over land, but they were very successful if trading was the brand. Europeans learned about many secrets of the East. Mass science lit. Spices were the beast. Trade routes opened up with the Muslims and beyond. Every European bought stuff up like it would soon be gone. Times they were a-changing when the knights went back west. People started thinking feudalism's not the best. Kings started pushing to get their power back. Soon each kingdom started looking to attack. Their neighbors were the targets. The kings wanted more land. They convinced their serfs and peasants theirs was the best brand. Stick with me, they would say. You know we are the best. Better than the others to our east and to our west. What can we do? Why, let's go conquer them. We'll show them who's boss, kill them all, and then we'll take it all over and split up the space. Hang a flag over every other place. Building nation instead of kingdoms is what they wanted to do. England and France were the most powerful too. They fought a long time, a century and more, but it was easier to say the 100 Years' War. They got everyone in Europe involved somehow. Some were really fighting, but others just pointed bows of their ships to other places to limit trade with the side they didn't like. No deals were made. King John in England wasn't very well liked, raised all the taxes, tried to show his might, so the lords, the noble, the clergy too, mad at running me to see what they could do. They stopped King John and forced him to add his seal to a contract that they had. The Magna Carta was signed and it was made law. Some of the power of the kings would fall to the nobles below him. He would have to ask to raise taxes or about an attack to start a war with other kingdoms across the way. He would have to get from the lords the okay. It documents a revolution, you see. Take power from the one and put it in the many. When the guys planning what America would be, they looked at the Magna Carta, you see. The Declaration of Independence was the result the Magna Carta caused. In the colonies they felt the kings didn't listen to the concerns brought forth by the colonial men. Then when they went on to write the Constitution, they said the most important was the rights of the one person, me, the individual. The Bill of Rights, what the amendments were called, that established the rights of the citizen. Those rights came to all at the stroke of a pen. Back in Europe things changed a little over time. People started to move if they thought they would thrive. It was better for their families to succeed if they changed their home to where more work would be. Your turn. Give it a try and make sure that you split it up so that it all fits into a couple of videos. Make sure you also include your guess as to where Mr. Marshall is in the building.